Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Circle Up and Get Real, where we talk about things that matter with people who matter. And Tonja Waring, I am so excited to reconnect with you.
It is wonderful that you reached out to me, and this is such a blessing, and we're going to have so much fun today. I can't
We
wait.
are going to have so much fun. So Tanya and I met we think it's 2018 through a networking organization, and I just connected with you. Well, not just because you're from South Dakota and I'm from North Dakota, because that was part of it,
Yeah.
but who you are in the world and your magnetism was so evident to me the first time I met you. And the funny thing was you were kind of a big deal at this event where I met you, and I thought, oh, she's kind of a big deal. I can't really connect with
Oh,
her but you connected. I mean, it was so easy to connect with you, even though you were a
you.
big deal. You were a big deal.
Thank
So, so
you.
that was so much fun. Anyway, let me just give you, everybody who's listening, a little bit of some information about Tanya. Tanya inspires people to create lives that feel aligned, abundant, and deeply meaningful. Combining the ancient wisdom of feng shui with practical tools, she guides people to gain clarity, trust their intuition, and transform both their homes and their lives. So there's a lot here, and there's a lot
Yes.
more than that we're going to talk about as we go. But Tanya was raised on a cattle ranch in South Dakota, and I
Yes.
am living in Fargo, North Dakota. So we had that connection. And Tanya's connection to nature, energy, and intuition began early. So we're going to hear a lot about that. So, Tanya,
Awesome.
welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
And
It's so wonderful to be here.
I know, I love that it says the Velvet Cactus Boutique Stay on your, what
Yeah.
is that?
Oh, I didn't even think about that. That is my latest manifestation. I think when you and I met, I had already manifested my dream home on my 50th birthday.
Hmm.
And I was living in an 1870s cabin in
Hmm.
just March. I put it on the market. I had totally redesigned it, infused it with energy, and it was time to let it go. And I didn't know where I was going next. And, as people, we start trying to make stuff happen, right? Like I'm on Zillow, I'm on realtor.com, I'm looking, 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 looking. And then all of a sudden the voice says, look, you're okay. You're already planning to see your dad in South Dakota. You're already planning to see Amy in Minnesota. You're already planning this deal to Florida. You don't need anything until July 13th. And if you found something, it would probably just get in the way.
Hmm.
And so I totally relaxed. And a friend called me out of the blue. And I'd like to share more about this later. But what ended up happening is less than 3 weeks later, I found another home in Texas, in Denison, Texas, that is now leading me in a whole new direction. And it's a historic 5 bedroom, 2 bath home, 1 block from downtown Denison that I'm going to turn into a new design concept called the Velvet Cactus. And it's a
Oh.
boutique stay for people who want to come visit Lake Texoma. And I get to put all my feng shui juju in it. And I get to really this is my calling, is to create space where people find themselves just because it's energetically comfortable. So that's the Velvet Cactus.
I love that so much. There are so many directions we could go right now, Tanya,
Yeah.
because I don't even know where to start. So Tanya, always knew you had some sort of something something going on, didn't you? Like when you were a little kid, there's like you talked about energy and you talked about manifestation and you talked about a lot of this. Did you always know that you had that?
No, no.
Not
I'm
as a kid in South Dakota?
Yeah, I'm often one of the most insecure people in the room,
Oh,
and
really?
people don't realize that. It's because I've always been different. I had visions as a kid and I didn't like TV and I didn't like all that stuff. So I would go walking with my dog around the ranch, right? And I don't, I've always had this happy energy. I knew that people liked me in high school,
Hmm.
but it's always been a little more challenging. I think being the sensitive, seeing things that
Hmm.
other people don't see, keeping my secrets.
Hmm.
And I talked about the Velvet Cactus. I closed on that home on my 60th birthday.
Oh, wow.
Couple years ago, not a couple years ago, it was about September of 2025. I decided that the next 20 years are going to be my best 20 years.
Mm,
And part of that is now really recognizing that I am here to share the gifts, to create the Wise Mystic Lounge, because I am a higher vibrational being. I've learned
hmm
how to increase my voltage. I've learned, like, when I step into a room, it shifts. And now I can own that, right?
I
And I
love that.
can own that authentically. And by the way, authenticity is the most incredible vibration there is on the planet. There's studies showing that. So, yeah, I mean, I didn't know that as a kid.
So good.
I
Well,
know
you
that
kind of knew it
now.
because you knew you were different, but you didn't know, maybe you didn't know what it was when you look
Yeah, I
back.
still was not allowing
Right.
I was the girl who went to a two-room country school through seventh grade
Wow.
and tried to fit in with the other kids. Like, I'm
Mhm.
writing in my story, it's called The Wise Mystic, and it'll be coming out soon. But, I chewed Copenhagen trying to be
Oh,
cool,
wow.
right? And Western shirts and, just trying to fit in and be, I mean, we all do this, right? Like
hmm
things that didn't align with me, but I didn't, as
Mm,
women and girls, I'm really understanding this too. There's just a different role
mm,
that women and men have. And so part of that was it. Like, I just read a study recently, Jodee, that women are talked over 3 times more than boys in the classroom.
oh
Just
my gosh,
talked
yeah.
over,
hmm
interrupted, talked over 3 times more than boys. And I
mm,
think it was a Harvard study, and they followed that all the way to the Supreme Court. Now, in the Supreme Court, you would think there would be more equality there. No, the same statistic in the Supreme Court.
mm,
Women were interrupted 3 times more than men. It's not that anything's wrong. It's
mhm,
not, it's just culture, right? But
mhm,
now I'm like, I really want to work with women to look at how do we break through that culture, right? That's just there. It's
mhm,
just the water we
mhm,
swim
mhm,
in.
mhm,
How
mhm,
do we now at 60, at 50, at 40
mhm.
break through that? And how do we be more mindful,
Yeah.
right, as parents? And so I
Mm.
love 60.
Yeah.
I think this is the best, like the best, 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 best time of my
Oh,
life.
you when I turned 60, I started painting. These
Yes.
these paintings that I
Yes,
have behind me,
beautiful.
I
Yes.
just decided to start painting and I know 60 is wonderful. I'm 63, so I am a little bit ahead of you,
Yeah.
but you're right. There comes a point at which owning our authenticity,
Yes.
why wouldn't we? Why wouldn't we do that at some point?
Well, another thing that popped up is hormonally.
Yeah.
Like when we're young, those hormones intending to have us be mothers, right?
Mhm.
Make us look outside ourselves to protect everybody else in the village but ourselves.
Right.
We become the sacrificial lamb. It's hormonal. And then
Mm.
when those hormones go away, that's why at
I
this age,
know.
man, we're something. We're something, something to deal
I
with.
love it.
And in other cultures, they do big celebrations when women turn 60.
Mm. Wow.
So I don't know. It gives me goosebumps, though. I
I
mean, I think
love
it's
it.
really exciting,
I love it.
exciting.
I wish, like you said earlier, I wish, I know this isn't
Yeah.
wishing is not a
Wishing is
thing, but
great. Yeah.
yeah, I wish we would have figured this out. I wish I would have figured this out sooner. You know, I wish that I could have, when I look back on who I was in high school
Yeah.
I wish I would have owned my greatness and my authenticity. And yet, I wouldn't have this story. I wouldn't have my experience now. I am who I am today because of the decisions and choices I made along the way, and there's no regret.
Yes. And I think there's this thing called soul path, right? I
Mm,
can manifest a lot of things, and then sometimes stuff hits the fan,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like I've had more ups and downs than anybody I
Mm.
know, even recently, right? And I don't know where I was going with that. That's the other thing about being 60.
No, but that's good.
Uh,
But you were
that
telling
soul
me,
path, right?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
we're meant to have these struggles. Why else are
Mm,
we here?
Hmm.
We can stay over in utopia. I don't know what
Mm.
people's beliefs are, but this is really a privilege to be here. All of the experiences, which
Yeah.
is why I now say I'm just here for the rodeo.
I
I
love it.
become a master observer,
Mm.
like not absorbing it, not adding to it, just
Mm.
observing. Wow, this
Yeah.
is really interesting.
That's so different, isn't it? Because then the attachment, you can let go of the
Yes,
attachment and still have the commitment
yes,
to living fully without the how of it.
right. And life is a game,
Mhm.
and we get to create a game. Like anything is possible. Your past is not the trajectory to your future unless you say it is.
Yeah.
And so I call myself the queen of reinvention because I've reinvented myself so many times on my journey
Mm.
from being raised on a cattle ranch to marrying someone of a different race and moving right to the heart of Seattle, right? From
Mm.
South Dakota to that. Then being the
Wow.
first person in my family to get divorced, right? Then
Mm.
there was that. Like I broke through the boxes at a
Yeah.
really young age. And then who was I as a mom? And then who was I as a single mom,
Hmm.
right? And
Hmm.
a top infomercial host, which I
Hmm.
loved, by the way. Like doing QVC was like crack cocaine to me. And I want to say, like, that shouldn't be like the best experience of my life. We're taught like it should have been the day my daughter was born, or it should have,
Right.
this. No, I freaking love the exhilaration of 6 minutes on TV,
Yep.
live camera. You don't know I loved
Yeah.
it. I
Yeah.
love it. Right. And just to say that, like,
We can still find you, I think. I mean, we can find you
yeah.
in some of those infomercials if we're looking, right?
Well, I have posted the original infomercial
Okay.
on my website under about
Under
me or
about.
whatever. Yeah. And
Okay. We're gonna. Oh, there it
that,
is.
yeah, that was such a, okay. Can I share how this happened?
Absolutely. This is to
Okay.
get real. This is what this is called.
So I went through bankruptcy and foreclosure and moved to a 900 square foot home with my husband and 3 kids under the age of 4.
Mm.
And I got up in the middle of the night and pulled out a drawer, and there was my printer and a computer. And I created a real estate company out of thin air.
Mm.
Right. And it just went gangbusters. I bought a new home. Everything was happening. I thought, wow, this is great. I know what I'm doing. I'm never going to be in that place again. And then 2008 hit and it crashed hard. I lost
Mhm.
everything. I went through
Mm.
foreclosure again,
Mm.
twice. This time I
Mm.
went through divorce. I was going to
Mhm.
food shelves.
Mhm.
I was looking for jobs every single day. I think I put out 200 or 300 resumes.
Mm.
33,000 real estate agents like myself were looking for work.
Yeah.
Nothing
Where
was
were you at this
happening.
time? In
I was
the
in
where were you?
Minnesota.
Okay.
I was in Minnesota on a corner house, renting behind on my rent, going to food shelves. And I'm looking in the newspaper, and I've never been able to sell pharmaceuticals or
Hmm.
sell this or sell that, sell stuff that I don't
Hmm.
believe in, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
And I was lost. I did not know what I was going to do. And something called to me. I still get teary. I
Hmm.
stood up off the couch and I said, look, God, I am smart. I'm beautiful, talented. I want you to bring me something that's worthy of who I am. I want
Mm.
something I can sell that I believe in. I don't want to have any holdback for it, like, no question. And a week later, a friend called me and said, there's this pillow company and they need you.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to do it at first. I really was like, no, I don't want to do this. I don't want to sell a pillow. And I heard a voice, the voice that I now call the voice, say, look,
Mm-hmm.
this is exactly what you asked for. This is what you asked for. And then I went to the company and still I wasn't going to do it. I had downloaded in my mind how to redo their website, all of it. And
Mm.
something irritated me. And I just walked across the gravel, crocodile cheers, going, I can't do this. This is part of being a mystic. We can't
Mm.
do a lot of the things that other people can do.
Mm,
right? We just have this strength of knowing, right? That makes it hard and now it makes it beautiful. But I'm
mm,
like, I cannot do this.
mhm,
And Mike Lindell, owner of MyPillow, grabbed me by the elbow because I wasn't even going to say goodbye to him. I was just walking to my
mm,
car. And he said, "Are you an angel?" And I said, "Yes, I am." And he goes, "My sister told me there's a woman coming into this company who's going to make me a multimillionaire. And
wow.
she described you perfectly."
Wow.
And that's how I got into that company. It was the hardest 3 years of my life. I went to trade shows. It was the only time I haven't been at home with my kids. I had to
Mm,
travel 4 days a week and go sell, but it was the only option I had. But here's a beautiful thing. That pillow fixed my neck. I had been in two major car accidents. I bought an $11,000 machine, and just like
mm,
I asked for, just like I petitioned for, I believed in it 100%. It was 50
mhm,
bucks,
mhm, mhm,
10-year warranty, 60-day money back guarantee. I never resisted sending someone home with a pillow. Like
mhm,
I wasn't doing a great job,
mhm,
right? I wrote one of the most profitable newspaper ads. That company grew from 500,000 to 50 million in 3 years. I became their infomercial host. That voice that said, "This is what you asked for." Like you can't I mean, and I owe it to people to let them know this is available.
Yeah.
That's what the
Yeah.
Wise Mystic Lounge is about, is
Mhm,
like, I'm not unique.
mhm,
I'm
mhm,
not a big deal. I'm a girl from a two-room country school in South
mm,
Dakota, right? Who just has learned like it's okay. It's okay to be
mhm.
me.
Yeah.
I'm teaching people how to trust their intuition. I'm teaching people how to manifest. It's like get clear on what you ask, get clear on what you want, ask and
Mhm,
it's
mhm,
given, and
mhm.
then keep your vibration up. Do
Yeah.
things that you love.
So
Ignore anything that brings you down. Anyway,
so it sounds simple, and it is simple the way you describe it. It's simple. It's simple.
it
And
is.
yet life and experience and the world and everything is here to teach us something, apparently, right?
Yes.
Because things aren't always, at least not at some point, they're not always that simple until it sounds like you turn 60, maybe. I don't know. There's
Yeah.
something that I don't know. What is it in the journey that we have that keeps us from owning that all the time?
What I found is the more introspective alone time I have and the less I engage in the outside world, the stronger my energy is
Mm-hmm.
and the voice and everything else. Because I don't listen, I don't listen to news in the background. I don't partake,
Mm-hmm.
right? I've been alcohol free for almost 2 years now, and it's like that. I just don't
Mm-hmm.
partake in that,
Yeah.
right? I don't partake
Mm-hmm.
because here's what I know. I have a treasure chest designated just to Tanya, and I can open it up and it's infinite. And Jodee has her own treasure chest and
Mm-hmm.
she can open it up and it's infinite. That's our sovereignty, is we all
Mm-hmm.
are born with infinite energy at our disposal. And you can study quantum physics, you can study the mystics, the shamans,
Mm-hmm.
and it's there, right? It's
Yeah.
there. And you can engage in things that bring your energy down, that make you angry, that make you, right? Because it's all there. You get to choose.
Sure.
It's all
Right.
there. It's always been there. It's been there since the beginning of time.
Mm-hmm.
As enlightened souls, we can choose differently and we will create a different vibration in the planet. We'll be more effective from a point of light than a point of anger.
Yeah. 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 So I've heard Wayne Dyer is who I have studied over
Yes.
the years. And he said something in one of his books, maybe it was The Power of Intention, that it takes fewer people vibrating at a higher level to bring people up than we
Yes.
might think. And
Yes.
so it is possible. The intention experiment by Lynn McTaggart, do you know that? The intention
Yes.
experiment.
I've heard of it.
She did an experiment on the lawn of I don't know, somewhere in Washington, D.C., and they measured some sort of way to tell how much the crime was at
Yes.
before
Yeah.
these people got together and then after. And it
Yes.
actually lowered the crime rate because there were enough people vibrating at a higher level. And all of this sounds woo-woo till I think till you experience it, maybe. And I know we've been talking for since 2018, right? We've known each other. And both of us can know stuff, but if somehow we do something or don't allow it or, well, I don't know, make a different decision, we'll have a
Yeah.
different outcome. But knowing what you just said, knowing that that is a choice and a possibility, and then knowing that we have the capacity to do that, it's like, why would anybody choose differently?
Yeah. Because we're being programmed,
Mm,
right? You have to be mindful of
mm,
the source of the program.
yeah.
Really have to be mindful. And I am grateful for that two-room country school being 30 miles from nowhere because I did entertain myself with horses and walking and seeing the sunset and being
Mm,
out in nature, right? I didn't have a lot of influence on my life other
mhm,
than community. And now I see the world as vibrating differently.
mm,
I I walked into a bookstore. That's how I learned feng shui. I was called to a book and I opened it and I knew everything in it. Feng shui, an
mm,
ancient Chinese art, 3,000 years old.
mhm,
7 months pregnant with my daughter. This was out of left field. And I knew to get professionally trained 30 years ago. I have been woo woo for 30 years. What was really called woo woo. I home birthed
mhm,
3 children,
mm,
right? This was not commonplace.
mhm,
I
mhm,
just did it. I did
mhm,
it quietly,
mhm.
very quietly. And now I see the world shifting. And Harvard is doing studies that, oh my gosh, we can heal our bodies by talking to ourselves. We're 93% water. Why wouldn't we care
Mm,
what water we're putting in? And we can buy, I mean, I'm doing all these experiments in my life at
yeah,
home, having the time of my life, just playing
yeah.
with this, right? Just playing with
That's,
this. But I do see the world shifting. And I was in
mhm,
Peru talking with a shaman. And to your point, Jodee, it only takes 10% of us to shift the planet.
mhm,
And I
mhm.
want you to ask yourself, are you going to be part of the 10%? Now that
Yes.
you know it only takes 10% of us, are you going to be part of the 10%? And there's also this matriarchy, patriarchy is coming into balance. It doesn't mean patriarchy is bad, that we should throw it out. We need
Mhm.
to honor and respect all people,
Yeah,
right? All genders, all right, race, economically,
yeah.
like, and reach out to our communities
Mm.
and build our communities at a grassroots level. We can do this.
Yeah. Can we talk about then divine feminine and divine masculine and toxic masculine and toxic feminine? Because I think there's been this awareness of toxic masculinity that allows us to blame and allows us to
Yes,
stay in the shaming space. And I'm not saying male and female. I'm not saying that at all. I'm
right.
saying we all have all, everything.
Thanks for clarifying that.
Yeah, and if we talk about, I mean, I have Chris, my co-author in the book Roots that I was just telling you about offline. He has a lot of divine feminine energy. I've had
Yes,
a lot of masculine energy, I think, but I've thought I needed to because I thought that's how you
right.
needed to build business, right? And I
Yeah.
denied some of that divine femininity that I think you're talking about in a way, right?
100%. That's part of our authenticity, right?
Mhm.
Remember the padded shoulders of the 80s?
Yes,
Like,
yes.
and I kind of feel like women got the raw end of the deal. We got to
Mm,
go to work. We were expected to go to work. And then we got to take care of the kids and we got to clean the house. And, and men still kind of had someone's
mhm.
going to take care of me when I
Right,
get home, right? But
right,
those
right.
shoulder pads were to make ourselves more masculine.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And, but it's all part of the
It
process of
is.
the direction that we're moving. Um, I have 3 children. My son they're all wrestlers, right? They had
Yeah,
girls
yeah. Like
wrestling.
literally, they are wrestlers. That's what they
Yes,
do. They wrestle. Yes.
like they wrestled in high school, and my
Yeah,
daughter got second at state 2 years in a
yeah,
row. She's a freaking beast. Like she's
yeah.
just dang, and her energy. She's the
Mm,
oldest, probably because I was her mom, and
yeah.
like she got it all, but she still
Yeah.
has some of. And my son is way, way calmer, introverted, and he's a wrestler too. He wrestled at West Virginia University, but I would say he's really balanced,
Mm,
masculine, feminine, and he struggles as a white male and kind of what's going on,
mm.
just feeling good about who he is because we have
Yeah.
a lot of push right
Yes.
now. And it can be really harmful. And I've
Mm,
worked for women. My first job was a female executive director of a nonprofit, and 6 of the 7 vice presidents were women, and
mhm,
they were ferocious.
mm.
They were not nice people. I'll
Oh,
just say that
ferocious in a negative way.
in a negative way.
Ah.
And
Mm,
it made me afraid to work with women,
mhm,
right?
mm.
And so it's the mask that we just don't need to be like that anymore,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
We don't need that, and the world isn't calling for it. The world is calling for us to be authentic. It's
Mhm,
4,000 times more powerful than
mhm,
love because authenticity is loving yourself.
mm.
That is the spiritual evolution. When you're authentic, you love yourself to show up, to look in the mirror and say, I love you. I
Mm.
love you so much. I'm so proud of you. I've seen you go through this, 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 this. I've seen you show up. I've seen you have concerns. And you know what? Now I'm going to paint. And I'm going to
Yeah.
paint and not judge myself. I'm
Yeah.
going to sew like my mother taught me and not make it right, wrong, and different,
Right.
right?
Mhm,
I'm just going to go for a walk.
mhm.
I think, and I'm guilty of this. I work all the time because if you're not working, you're not productive.
Mm,
Growing up on
mhm,
a cattle ranch, like,
mhm.
it,
For sure.
and I have a hard time plus I love what I do.
Yeah,
I love
I
what
know
I
that.
do. So,
I know.
but resting and revitalizing ourselves and
Mhm,
rejuvenating.
mhm.
I'm into the right now,
I
like
know. I love that on your website.
restyle,
Yeah,
reinvent, repurpose,
yeah,
recycle, reward, right?
right.
Like, but I don't know. All of a sudden, all these R words are showing
I
are
love it
being,
though.
yeah. So
Regis means doing it again, and I think some of that is to revisit, right? Revisit
yes,
who we know ourselves to be, and I've been kind of playing around with that too. Realize when you realize
yes,
something, you
yes.
use your real eyes, right?
Oh, I love it.
Well, this podcast is called Circle Up and Get Real. And
Yes,
REAL is an acronym for radical, energized, authentic, and learning focused.
I
And when
love
we
it.
get into that space, radical does not mean crazy, wild, out there. Let's, get radicalized. It means getting back to the root, which goes back to
Yes,
South Dakota and it goes back
yes.
to North Dakota, right? The root of who we are. A radish is a root vegetable. And so when we
Oh,
get back
yeah,
to that rad part of it,
love
we
it.
don't have to make up all these other things. We can be authentic the way you're describing it. And that's why I connect so much with you. I always did. And even though we haven't talked forever, I know you're in my world. And
Yeah,
that's what, you said 10%. We're going to be the 10%. And you're going to be living in Texas. I live in North Dakota, straight north of you.
yeah,
But we can
yes.
make a difference wherever we are, right?
100%. Every day by increasing your vibration and
Yeah.
playing life as a game. Okay, I just want to share 4 years ago, I went through a very challenging relationship that nearly crushed me.
Mm,
And when I say nearly crushed me, I was on the floor having a nervous breakdown, right?
mm,
And I left Texas. And this is the first time publicly I'm sharing about this because it was such a fall. And before that, I was doing great. And it's like, how did
mm,
I succumb to this?
mm-hmm.
Right? Well, I did because all the signs were there in being in narcissistic relationships that I never got the lesson until I got the lesson, right? So the last 4 years have been very small for me. I went to
Mm.
a very small circle. I traveled to 15 countries in 2 years. I walked the Camino de Santiago, 550 miles. You know, raising three kids by yourself takes
Yeah.
a toll. And I knew that when I was an empty nester. My mom, I had helped take care of her for 2.5 years. Like it was
Mm.
time for me to circle the wagons and figure out me.
Right.
And here I am jumping out of bed in the morning like a third grader going on a field trip, right? Like
Love
I
that.
didn't know if I wanted to check out or check in or
Mm.
I
Mm.
really I was on it was a really precarious place. A lot of things were going on.
Mm.
But that's all part of my soul path
Mm.
because when you can go through all of that, like the inner peace you get, the inner knowing of
Yeah.
who you are, like to come through the kinds of things only light leaders choose in this lifetime.
Mm.
And so I resonate with a lot of women who have been through a lot of stuff because they
Mm.
are the light leaders. I'm a light leader. And I'm here to say, like, if you have that feeling, please come into the Wise Mystic Lounge. Please reach out because I'm living proof you can get through it. And not only through it, but
Mm.
like the other side is completely magical. I'm buying a house in Denison. I'm setting it up as short-term rental. All of a sudden, I'm like, wow, this is great real estate opportunity. I've been reading about a bunch of women who want tiny homes, community living. And I'm like, they can buy a house in Denison for the same price as a tiny home. And we can create this
Mm.
area because the real estate prices are going to go up. So I'm going back into real estate. After
Nice.
all my failures, I'm going back into real estate and I couldn't be happier
I love it.
because for me, in feng shui, your space reflects your life. And
Hmm.
if I can be that person who helps people find their space,
Mm.
create their space, love their space, and create a community of like-minded, I'm all in. And that's I don't know if it's 4 years, 5 years. I don't know
Yeah.
because before
Yeah.
this, I was going to be in Greece managing,
Mm.
you know, an art studio. I had
Wow.
that all set up. And then it's like, well,
Huh.
this opportunity looks better than that opportunity.
Okay.
So we can create, we can reinvent.
I
There's no
think
reason we shouldn't be having the best time of our life.
right, right. What you say in that space resonates because if we are created in the image of a creator,
Yes.
why would we not then latch on to that creativity and that creativeness because it's a reflection of our creator. And I'm
Yes.
getting spiritual in this. I don't mean to be religious in that. It's something greater. It's greater than what we've created in denominations and parties and divisions. And
Yes.
I feel like that space you're talking about and that attraction, the secret, it goes back to the law of attraction,
Yeah.
the law of intention, all of those things, but they are universal laws. And we didn't make these up. You were talking about quantum physics earlier and call it what you will. I like your whole way of calling it manifestation and mysticism and the things that you're talking about just resonate in a certain way, but it doesn't have to resonate with everyone yet necessarily because it's only
Right.
10%, right?
Yeah, and hopefully it'll be more than that real soon. I have a
Right,
feeling.
right.
I want to share with you, I was in Mount Sinai where
Mm,
Moses received the Ten
mm,
Commandments.
mhm,
And I walked up at sunrise. And the message I got, and this is the first commandment, is no idols before God.
mhm,
And what I really, really got from that is anything that's not your divine connection with source
mm,
is out of alignment. And
mhm.
we have all these religions and beliefs, and most of them pull us out of our direct alignment with true source to God.
Mhm.
And our true source to God is where we have an equal playing field. right? There shouldn't we
Yeah.
don't need gurus. You don't need to listen to me. I made a funny t-shirt with my picture on it that said be your own guru, right? Like
Nice.
just be
Yeah.
your own guru.
Yeah.
Be
Yeah.
your own creator, the creation,
Mhm.
the unique creation that
Mhm.
you are. And to me, I'm one of the most faithful people you'll ever meet.
Mhm.
And I'm not religious.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And but I'm sovereign.
Yeah. Yeah. I had a- this is the first time I probably said this too. So everybody here on the podcast, I left a church that I was a member of when the pastor said, "Well, the Christian God would do this way, and we don't
Yes.
do that." And I went, "What? What? There's a Christian God?" That was the first time it occurred to me that there's a different God.
Yeah,
I completely believe in my heart and soul there's one creator. I don't know how it occurs to whoever was plopped in a certain part of the world to be born. I mean, that's not why is mine the right way? It just never
right.
occurred to me as a 3-year-old when I was learning Sunday school catechism.
Yes. Well, right. That's part of growing and developing and
Hmm.
going to different countries. And
Yeah.
we adapt our environment.
Hmm.
That's what I'm talking about. And I do love having my coaching groups because I create a different environment for people.
Hmm.
And it takes a different environment
Hmm.
than the one that we're born into to start
Right.
seeing some things
Right.
because
Right.
we
Right.
just don't see it
Yeah.
until we see it.
Right.
And
Yeah.
people, I love that people have their faith in however that is.
Hmm.
When
Hmm.
you learn to love and accept, we're born into we're born into a
Hmm.
place for a reason. I learned that when I heard the Dalai Lama speak. He said some people
Hmm.
will look for new religions, right? He
Hmm.
goes, but they always come back to the one they're born into
Oh,
because we're
interesting.
born there
Mm,
to receive certain lessons,
mm,
right? Our path is our of our choosing. I really believe
mhm,
that.
mm,
I
mm.
really believe that.
Our choosing,
Yes,
our
from the
awake and conscious choosing.
before we came here,
Yeah, yeah,
right? Our
yeah.
path is of our
Right.
choosing. And if you start to
Mm,
accept your path as your choosing and what
mm,
is it here to teach me, it's a
right.
completely different experience than blaming someone.
Right on. Yes, 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 yes. That's so good. Oh my gosh. You're reminding me of a teacher that I studied with for a few years, and I had forgotten until right now that, man, I learned a lot of these things and kind of put it
Yeah.
away. But you're right. If it is our choice, if we did choose, then it's hard to blame what we've
Yes.
experienced. Yeah.
And there's things we know as truth and there's things we know as mysteries. So when I
Mm.
speak, I
Mm.
don't know if this is a truth that we
Oh,
choose
interesting.
everything, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I really
yeah.
want to just have that disclaimer.
Right.
Life is a mystery. I pretty much feel that's how it goes from my studies,
Mm.
but
Mm.
man, nobody's an authority.
Mm.
Nobody, no
Oh.
matter where they stand, in front of you, behind you, beside you, they're
Mhm.
not an authority.
Mm. Will you explain that a little bit more? Like you said, there's a difference between truth and mysticism.
Well, or
Can you,
mystery. Like
mystery, sorry, mystery.
sometimes, like I don't know. Truth. I don't know. There are some things I just know to be true, like
Yeah, okay.
gravity is
Okay.
true, right?
Yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
Gravity is true.
Uh-huh.
If I vibrate at a particular level, I'm going to call something in. Quantum
Mm-hmm.
physics is starting to show this. That to me is a truth,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Okay.
The mystery is I don't know how it all works.
Yeah. Yeah.
When I started to look at manifesting, I found that there were four domains to manifesting. There's free will, right? We get to choose what we want. Now, if you imagine the world is infinite energy, and energy is either a particulate, a particle, or a wave,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
What I'm reading is out in the ether, it's a wave. But the moment we have an observer to that, it becomes a particle.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So your intention is
Mm-hmm.
bringing that wave into particle. Wave is in the ether, particle is in this universe,
Mm. Yeah, I get
right?
it. Yeah.
So that's how we can
Mm.
use the power of intention. In feng
Mm-hmm.
shui, everything is energy and intention is most important.
Mm.
because intention is what's going to guide that. So free
Yeah.
will is bringing to you out of the ether.
Mm,
Then I believe we have a divine guidance team,
mm,
whether it's ancestors who have passed, whether it's angels or guides. I've had the experience of having a lot of different guides at a lot of different times, and that's my that's my truth. Someone
mm.
else's truth. Like if your guide is Jesus, of course Jesus is going to show up for you.
For
And if
sure.
someone
Yeah.
else has a different set of guides, right? Like,
Sure.
and what we give energy to expands,
Mm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
right? So what we pay attention to shows up more.
Yeah.
And then we have the law of vibration. And you can say all the affirmations you want, but if you're in a really terrible place going, I'm rich, and
Mm-hmm,
you're,
mm-hmm,
but most of the time you're swearing under your breath because you don't have enough money
mm-hmm,
to buy food, right? Or you're angry about it, you're not
mm-hmm,
going to manifest
mm-hmm,
anything. You have to
mm.
manage your energy before you get what you want, before
Mm.
it shows up in reality.
Yeah.
And that's what I become a master in.
Mm,
Having going to food shelves, I learned to become a master in visualizing and creating what I want.
mm.
And we can do that also through reticular cells.
Yeah.
When you drive a car off the lot, you start seeing that same car. That's your reticular cells. That's
Right.
how a
Right.
mama cow finds her baby calf out of all the calves crying, a
Right.
mama cow. Like we know the sound of our children, we know
Right.
the sound of our name. If we're used to making or receiving $50,000 a year for our job, we don't look for $1 million opportunities. We look for jobs that are 50, 53,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
54, maybe 60,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
we can shift all of that through something I learned from my mentor, get statements. We can shift all of that.
Mm-hmm.
We we can do that. And
Yeah.
so there's 4 different ways that I've discovered to manifest
Yeah.
what it is that I want.
So good. So what I'm observing, because I love that distinction about being an observer instead
Yes.
of only always being the participant. And in the observation of things, I've been struggling to find language because
Yes.
I'm a student of NLP as well.
Yeah.
So neuro-linguistic programming is the words we use, and they're so clunky sometimes because they don't always say what I want them to say. Yet it's the only way I know how to communicate verbally right now is to use the words in the language that I know.
Yeah.
So I work on some of this observation of things without judgment. And as soon as I say without judgment, then there's judgment. So it's this
Hey,
really
we're judgment making
right.
machines. We
We
judge
are.
everything. That's
It's
part of
so
being human.
yeah. And so in that space of observing, like you said, the particle wave theory and observing a lot of things, it's true that it works all the time, 100%. And when
Yes.
you said you're upset and frustrated and saying under your breath, I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich, you're attracting more of what you are, not what
Yes.
you want,
Yes.
right? Because if want should go away at some point, right? If I become, or if I be before I become. I be before I become. And in that space of deservedness is what I'm witnessing lately with people, myself included. Do I deserve this? Am I worthy of it? And
Right.
I think in that space of doubt, that's where the old you said gravity earlier, right? The
Yeah.
gravity has a job and it's just to pull things down to its own observational match, I think.
Yeah. There is some work I've been doing, some shadow work that I
Mm.
find so valuable and is really, really working with women. And that is starting to work with our little girl.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
she's driving the bus,
you're right.
and most of us aren't aware of it. Like she's the one who attracts the narcissistic relationships because
Mhm.
it reminds her of her mom and she thinks that's what love is, right?
Right, right,
She's
right.
the one who says, you know what, my intuition says not to do it, but I'm going to do it
Mhm,
anyway, right?
mhm,
She's the one who's learned how to protect herself
mhm,
in certain ways
mhm,
that were wonderful for that 4-year-old girl. And when we can look at her, or when you say, you know what, I wish I would have known this before,
mhm,
go, you know what, Jodee, little Jodee, teenager Jodee, come along with me. You
mhm.
did the very best job
Right.
you could do. And I'm so proud of you because
Mhm.
I've watched you this entire time of what an amazing human you are and what an amazing girl you are and what an amazing woman. And you've just done the best that you can. And
Mhm.
I love you. And I want you to
Mhm.
sit right here with me
Mhm.
because now I'm going to take care of you.
Yeah.
You no longer have to take care of me
Mm.
and yourself.
Mm.
Big Tanya is going to come and take care of
Mm.
you,
Mhm.
right? Or Big Jody's going to take care of you.
Mhm.
And I
Mhm.
literally visualize that she's here with me. I might get a doll, I might get something
Yeah.
because if I were her mother, I would have loved her
Mhm.
so deeply. I would have seen everything that she needed. I would have seen how this hurt her or how
Mhm.
this challenged her, right?
Right.
I would have
Right.
just
Yeah.
loved her, right? And when you love her and you can see her, why wouldn't you love yourself?
Right. There are
That
so
is,
many paths to this that I love that you're bringing up. I mean, I hope everybody will look at your website and go find something that you can guide them with.
yeah,
I did NLP, as I mentioned earlier, and Ho'oponopono is an ancient Hawaiian healing
yes,
process practice that I've known about for a long, 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 long time and re-experienced, to use your re again, re-experienced it again through my training in 2022. And that whole forgiving the little girl who didn't know better,
yes,
because you go back to the mother and you go back to the grandmother, at least in my case, that's what I did.
yes,
And I just forgave everybody who was doing the best they knew how to do with whatever they knew. And that release was so amazing because I didn't realize I was hanging on to that. It was
yes,
safety, and I can control something, and there was nothing major in my life. I don't have any big major trauma,
yeah.
but my trauma is mine, right? So I don't have to measure it
We
against
all
somebody
have
else's, right?
trauma.
Yeah,
We
exactly.
all have something that
Right,
happened when
right,
we were
right,
4 or 5 years old and we
right.
made a really big
Big
decision
deal
about
out of it. That's right. And all of that, I think people who are drawn to or attracted to or interested in the work that it
it. Yes.
takes, the work that it takes to know yourself and uncover some of this, maybe are the people who are going to be the 10% who start,
Yeah.
elevating the
100% of the
and if
10%.
yes, 100% of the 10%. And if there's anything here that you're hearing, listeners, in this, Tanya, what would be the best way for them to find you? And the tiny home community in Denison,
Yes.
Texas, that's so cool. There's so many things, it sounds like, that people might be able to
Well,
experience with you.
here's where I think the biggest value comes in. And you talk about neuro-linguistic programming and how we talk to ourselves matters.
Mhm.
When we think we're speaking in a particular language that's positive to ourselves, I would say 90% of people are not,
Mhm.
right? Because it's so ingrained from the environment. And what these coaching groups provide is someone who's listening and everybody gets to talk and it's just a gentle calling out of say it this way,
Mm.
right? If like hold on
Mm.
and catching, because that's what my mentor did for me. That was the biggest life change for me was he called me out on my thinking and I thought I was thinking the right way. And how we say things matter.
Mm. Mm.
How we do our affirmations matter.
Mhm.
And so if you have a real interest in shifting,
Mhm.
finally, like I know there's a lot of information out there. There's a lot you can read and a lot. We don't need any more information. We
Right.
need a community that sets a different tone in our environment
Yes. Yes. Yes.
if you want to shift.
Yes.
If
Yes.
you want to shift. And the shifts that I see happen so rapidly,
Mm.
like really, really fast.
Mhm.
And that's what makes me want to make myself available
Great.
for people, right?
I love that.
Because I anyway, that programming. So you can go check out my website.
It's
My
great. I'm telling you, go to the about. I'm telling you to start. I'm just from my observation of this.
okay,
You will find Meet Tanya, the Velvet Cactus. All of this you're going to find out more about if you click on it. Magnetic Home by Tanya
yes,
Waring. The Power of Manifesting by Tanya Waring. Hosting the original MyPillow infomercial. You've got to see this
you got
because
to
it is
see it.
so cool. Voyage Dallas. I don't even know what that is.
It
Give
was an
back and shout
article.
outs. It was
Yeah.
a what?
It was an article about
Okay.
me. And then I'll post this podcast there too. And
Okay. Awesome. And then
yeah.
we've got Love Your Space, so you can do a lot of zhuzhing, which, by
As
the way,
you
I didn't know that's how you spell zhuzh, but great. Zhuzh.
I gotta,
Zhuzh.
this is such another great story. And I'm sorry.
No,
It,
please.
I met, when I was in Nepal, I didn't realize this woman had been following me on Facebook through my Camino journey through
Oh, yeah.
Nepal. And and kind of like you, she thought I was a big deal. Like I wasn't someone
Well,
who
you
was
are a big
available.
deal. Let's just say that right up front.
I don't know. Anyway, whatevs. But she, anyway, I go, let's jump on a Zoom. Let's just connect because I
Yeah.
believe in connecting,
Yeah,
right?
right on.
Let's get
Yeah.
connected.
Yes.
She had the same kind of shell lamp hanging in the back. I mean, we look like twinsies. Then
Wow.
we have since met. It felt like we've known each other forever. And she's a
Mhm.
zhusher. She is doing an interior design, what I want to do that little girl Tanya feels like I'm not good
Yeah.
enough.
Uh-huh.
She's doing what I want. I'm doing what she wants. We drive the
Nice.
same minivan, a 2014 Toyota Sienna, because we can haul
I
thrifts,
love it.
our thrift finds in there, right? Like we're just these like souls that
Yeah.
really connect.
Yeah.
And then when I'm going to buy this house in Denison, which was out of the blue, and I never really got to the story, so that's another time. But the realtor's name, the broker's name is Edith. And my grandmother's name was Edith. My daughter's
Oh,
middle name is Edith. And I'm
wow.
telling Deanna about this. And she goes, my grandmother's name is Edith, Edith Josephine. And I go, well, Josephine is the main character of my novel.
Oh my gosh, that's so
Like
cool.
when you step into the
Mm-hmm.
flow and you
Mm-hmm.
become an observer and
Mm-hmm.
you stop driving, you can respond. But when you stop driving the bus and you
Mm-hmm.
just stay open,
Mm-hmm.
it all unfolds just like, whoa, whoa, wow, holy cow, right? And it's so fun. Like you just
It's
can't
so
wait
fun.
for the next
Well,
day.
I think we think it's a coincidence. We think that word is like, oh, what a weird coincidence. Well,
Yes.
but the word coincident, going back to words, just means happening at the same time. Co-incident. It's just happening at the same time. It's not, oh my gosh, I can't even believe this. It's just what's supposed to be, and we're just uncovering it, like you said. So
Yeah,
you can think it's weird, and you can think it's, I can't believe this. Well, of course, that's how it's supposed to be, everyone.
right. And so I replace weird with marvel.
I love
Like
that.
that's so
Marvel.
weird. Oh, what a marvel, right?
That's
Like what a
great.
marvel.
Yeah.
And I believe in synchronicity. There's also been studies done that these synchronicities happen beyond expectation of what statistics would allow.
Yes.
Like it really is a marvel. Statistically, these should not be happening.
Right. Right.
And I'm a math major,
Oh,
right?
really?
I have a math degree.
Oh,
So
wow.
I'm this weird combo. I'm right and left brain,
You're a
almost
marvelous
equal.
combo.
I'm a
You're a
Marvel
marvelous
combo. And
combo.
then I've got this intuition. So my
Right.
brain is doing research. My other side of my brain sees way beyond what most people see as
Mhm.
possible. I have the means to chunk it out and
Sure.
do it. And now I have this amazing intuition that
Yeah.
like develop
Hmm.
all sides of yourself, your
Hmm. Hmm.
creativity, your analytical side, your intuition.
Yeah. Just own it.
Highly
Just own it.
recommend. Highly
Own it.
recommend.
Oh, I love
Yeah,
this so
or
much.
whoever you are is perfect. We're not all
Right.
meant to be the same. So if you're
That's
highly
right.
analytical, we need highly analytical.
Yes.
We need
Yes. Yes.
introverts.
Yes.
We need
Right.
extroverts. We
Right.
need we need everybody.
Be beautiful. Beautiful. Be you.
Yeah,
Be you.
we
That's
are.
the authenticity piece we were talking about earlier. So just,
Yeah,
own your greatness. And what
yeah,
can we do? What does the world look like? We're just not seeing it all the time. It's like I'm looking out the sky right now in where I live in Fargo. It's white. The sky is white.
mm, yeah,
That doesn't mean the sun's not shining. The sun's there. I
right.
just can't see it because there are clouds in front of it. That the sun's always there. So
Yes.
what are we looking for,
And
everybody?
just like sunshine,
Mm,
the the energy of the universe is infinite. So you have infinite possibilities to create with, and it never takes away from someone else. Just
Mm.
like sunshine. Like if I get a whole bunch of sunshine today, I'm in Florida and you don't have
Yeah.
much, it's not like Jody's going to come out and go, you stole all my sunshine. If you can't take all my sunshine, right? Like
Right.
be joyful for people who manifest what you want, because if they
Mm.
can manifest it, you can manifest it too,
That's so good.
right?
Such a
Be
great
joyful
reminder.
when someone has that relationship that you've wanted for 20 years and just hasn't been there for
Mm.
you. Just be
Hmm.
joyful and know, oh my gosh, I can have that too. Isn't
Yeah.
it great that I live in infinite abundance to be
So
able
good.
to create exactly what it is that's
So
there
good.
for me to create?
We talk, we could talk forever. We need to do this
I know.
again.
I
And
know.
so the easiest way to find you, it looks like, is to just go to Tanya with a J, TONJA.com. Everything leads to that, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
the Wise Mystic, you'll find that there in the Mystic Lounge. You'll find so many things. And I think Wise Mystic Lounge is where you really want to direct people
Yeah,
right
it's where
now.
I'm starting to, yeah, like I said, I've had a whole new life
Mhm.
redo. And so everything's set up to
Oh, so
join
good.
in. I love
Thank you.
community. I
Oh,
love, love,
yeah.
love community. So,
I think part of the challenge today in the world we live in right now, if we're aware of all of those things that you mentioned earlier, is just a need to belong somewhere.
yeah.
And I love the way, actually, speaking of community, Peter Block in
Oh,
the book,
right.
The Structure of Belonging is the subtitle of his book, and he says that belonging has two ways of thinking of it. It's ownership, this belongs to me, or
Hmm.
it's a longing to just
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
And the community you're developing and the community that I think a lot of us are longing for might be available
Yeah.
right there in on your website and with
Well, I
you.
think, the really beautiful thing about growing up in South Dakota is I had my friends and I knew their parents and I knew their grandparents and sometimes their great
Mhm.
grandparents. Like it
Mm.
was really like a third world country of what
Mhm.
I see when I
Mhm. Yeah.
travel, where
Yeah.
people would farm together if you needed, or if someone
Mhm.
got sick, we had a
Mhm.
community fund, right?
Yeah.
And
Right.
when I go to South Dakota, I am such a part of a community that I've known my entire life. And that was the difficult thing to get used to when I moved to a city,
Mm.
right? Is just
Mhm.
everybody's doing their own thing. Everybody's on their phone. Nobody's connecting. And
Yeah.
I'm a beacon of light for community.
I
I'm
love it.
ready to bring community together. And and I think that's just the beauty of AI too, is we now see it, we
Mm.
have it,
Mm.
and we go, wow, it's already lost its zing for a lot of people. And they go, hey,
Yeah.
I just want to get 5 acres, have some chickens, right? Or belong
Right.
to a community. I'm going to the
Right.
senior center at 60 and dancing with at on Wednesday nights. Why not?
Oh, that's so great. That's so great.
Right? Like pickleball club,
Yeah,
mahjong club,
right.
like
Right.
art. Come over for art. Come over and have a friendship tea with me. Oh, I've got sound
Mm.
healing bowls. Let's play those.
Oh,
Let's be 11 years old together and heal that part
yeah.
of our 11-year-old selves. Right? I
Yeah.
think it's, I don't know. I
Yeah.
could go on and on. I had that
Denison,
experience.
Texas, everyone. Let's
Yeah.
book your flights, book your time right now to
Yeah.
get to Denison. And you will be there in the middle of July.
In the middle of July, getting my real estate license as quickly as I can, and
Okay.
then rehabbing. She doesn't have a name yet, but the 1890 Victorian home that has
Okay.
great bones, needs a little HVAC and a kitchen zhoosh, right?
Okay. That sounds
So,
like a wonderful space.
yeah, follow
So,
along. I'd love to meet
Tanya,
you.
I appreciate you taking the time to just reconnect and to share what
Thanks,
you're up to
Jody.
because this is so awesome. I'm
It
so
is so
excited.
awesome. It is so awesome. Thank you for your time, for who you are in
Oh,
the world,
yeah,
and for
likewise.
spreading the word of
Oh,
being
you're so
real.
wonderful.
Yeah,
You're so
you're really
wonderful.
special.
Thank you so much. Everybody, look Tanya up and go find a way this week to be real. Pick one of the pick
Yeah.
REAL, radical, energized, authentic, learning, focus. Do something
Yeah.
and see how it'll change your world.
All right.
Thanks,
Love you, my
Tanya.
dear. You take care.
Love you. Bye-bye.